What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to set up and run a Crynux node. This is a decentralized orchestration layer on Edge AI. You can either run your own node or stake it to a node. We will be running our own node in this operation because it's always recommended to have full control of your coins and your nodes for anything that you do, at least in my mind. Now, keep in mind, this is like you do have to stake some coins, and you also need a decent amount of hardware. So first thing you do need for hardware, you have to keep in mind here is an NVIDIA GPU with at least 8 gigabytes of VRAM here. You need at least 16 gigabytes of memory and disk space 60 gigabytes. And starting your node, the download will be right here to this Google Drive. And then we're going to be operating this in Windows. So I did start setting everything up and I started sending some coins. And here we can see my node. And you can see I have 10,000 CNX balance. Right when I started to do this, they decided to change the game. At first, I was just basing everything off their website here where you didn't need very many coins or anything to stake. This guy, you can see he has 100 here. 4K, 14 million, 400. The more that you stake, obviously, the better your earnings and stuff are going to be. But it does sound like these early people here, since the change, if their node ever goes down or gets rebooted or something, they're going to have to increase it to the minimum. And the new minimum is 100,000. So here we can see on the 21st of July here, they do have an update of all the fees needed, and here is raised. So a minimum of 50,000. So this is your transfer fees and everything. This is on the base network. You have a minimum of 50,000 CNX. 50 to 100K is a 20% fee, 100K to 500K is 30%, and 500K plus is 40%. This is the kind of, discourage larger lump sums by being sent around and possibly sell in order to, keep the price and everything decently here, because you have high fees when moving very large amounts. Now we have on Crynux on base. So this is what you're going to actually need. You need Crynux on base for your node. Here's the minimum 10,000, and we can see 10K to 200K, 0.5%, 200K to 500K is 20%, and 500K is 30%. Ultimately, it's a lot cheaper to be running it on the base network, staking and scoring. So this is the part that got increased on top of all your withdrawal fees. So minimum node stake is now raised to 100,000. So you need at least 100,000 coins here to get your node up and running. Delegation amount, we don't have to worry about this because I am not staking on anyone else's node, but it was raised to 100,000 as well. Locked emissions are now multiplied by 0.4 before contributing to the staking score, and relay account balance is now included in the staking score. All right, so let's start with the basics. You're going to need some coins and you're going to need a wallet. So the wallet I recommend for this was obviously your MetaMask wallet. All right, so I went into my other PC here and you're going to need MetaMask here. So simply download that. I started a brand new fresh wallet here. Any new chain and stuff, that's what I usually like to do. So I got my own wallet for this one here. And I'm going to come into the portal here and you're going to click on that connect button. Now, by default, it's going to ask you to do a whole bunch of stuff. If it doesn't show up, just hit the refresh and it'll automatically give you the credentials to add the chain to MetaMask. So once you get that done, now you can just log in this way and it makes things super easy. Yeah, confirm, connect. And now you can see my wallet is connected. And here is where we can see that's Crynux on base. Now by default, we're just going to be on base like so, but we got to convert that into Crynux on base through this website. Now, the very first time you download and install your node here, when you run it, you're going to get your own wallet there as well. But I'm going to be using the MetaMask wallet because you can also get coins and everything from DEX Screener. There is a DEX for this, and MetaMask obviously makes things easy. I'm going to be getting my coins from Safetrade here, but I am going to be utilizing, again, the MetaMask wallet. All right, so we're logged into here. You can see I have a little bit of Ethereum because I am going to need Ethereum to move some coins around and stuff with the node here. So now we can see here is all my on-chain information here for the Crynux portal. So now I got to get more coins in here. So by default, I'm just going to run through it and then I'll show you how to do it. By default, all our coins that we withdraw to are going to be on the base chain. And then we're going to have to deposit it into our balance here and withdraw it into Crynux on base. And then we need all our coins to end up over here. That's why we're going to need that Ethereum to go from the base chain to Crynux on base. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It probably sounds a little bit confusing, but it's actually very, very simple. We're going to need some coins here. So let's jump into Safetrade and find us some coins. So I'm going to close this out here. Here is the current prices and everything on here. And again, it is listed here, but you can also use a DEX if that's what you prefer from DEX Screener. Now, just coming in the DEX Screener so you can see it for yourself, here is CNX, USDC, the pairing here on Uniswap V4. So I will have a link to this and everything down in the description, obviously, but I am not going to be using this myself, but I did want to just show it to you guys that a DEX is available. So anyway, coming back into here, we need 100,000 coins. I already have 10,000, so I need 90,000 coins. Now, to buy it right now, it looks like I'm going to have to go all the way up to here. I currently only have about 200 USD, so hopefully we have enough. So it looks like we're going to be a bit short, but we are getting coins from here. So I'm just going to, I guess, run into here. I'm going to start with this one. We're going to, maybe I'll just set a buy order for 90,000 here and see if anybody buys it. If no one does, then I'm going to have to go a little higher, but I'd like to get it a little bit cheaper instead of getting it way up here. All right, so I'm going to set it to 21 here. We'll get this one and eat up this 20,961. And then maybe these guys will sell me some at this price, depending how desperate they are. So we'll see what happens here. So I'm going to set that to this price right here. I'm going to get 92,000, a couple thousand extra just for fees. So now I'm going to buy these coins. So I'm going to hit the buy button, and now we're just going to wait for this order to go through. Now I'm going to give it a little bit of time. If it starts taking too long, then I might have to go into the next buy orders just to get this done, and I can make this video. All right, so mission successful. Someone did dump their coins, so it looks like we picked them up here. You can see I have 92,000. Now remember, I need 90,000 total, but an extra 2,000 some for that bonus. So now we got to withdraw to my MetaMask wallet. So we're going to put our address in here, and it is because I am on the Ethereum network, we're going to be using the same address as Ethereum. I'm just going to copy the address right there. Ethereum wallet address copied. It is the same one here. So we're going to copy here. And I'm going to paste that address right there. So this is the address I am sending to. We are on network Ethereum base, and the amount we're going to select all. We want to send all of it, and our fee is 1 CNX. So now we're going to send all of this to my wallet here. So it's always good to double, triple, and quadruple check all your addresses. So as we know, we connect our MetaMask into our Crynux Portal here, and it should show the same address. Here we can see OX9FD7, OX9FD7, and then 1583B, 1583B. So we can just copy this right here because we are linked together, and we're going to be sending our coins to here on the base network. So remember, base, and then we're going to be using this platform here to convert that into Crynux on base. So remember, we're going to base and then converting to Crynux on base. It sounds kind of confusing, but it's very simple, as I mentioned earlier. So now we're going to come back into Safetrade. We are pasting that address in there. We're making sure it's all correct. And this is checking out here. Maximum amount we're going to put right there. There's a fee of 1 CNX. And now we are going to submit this. Now it's going to go through all our code. So I'm going to get my email code and put in my Google Authenticator code, and then it should go through. Okay, so we can see that went through here. We are accepted, so it is sending the funds, 92,000. So I'm going to go into my Crynux Portal. It should be pretty fast. I'm just going to hit the refresh. It might already be there. It might not be. So not quite yet. We're going to wait a few more minutes for this to actually get in here, but it should only take a couple minutes. All right, so our transaction here did succeed. Again, it only took a couple minutes here. Coming into our portal, we have 92,000 here. So now we're going to take our base funds, which is right here, and we're going to deposit that into our relay account right here. Because remember, we're trying to convert base into Crynux on base because we need 100,000 coins in Crynux on base balance. So we're going to come into our base here, and we are going to deposit these coins. So click on deposit here and make sure you are on the proper one. By default, it might be on this one. You'll see it says a max of 10,000. That's obviously wrong. This is when you're withdrawing and stuff from Crynux on base to go back to base to sell and things like that. So anyway, we're on the base chain here. Now we want our max. So I'm going to enter my max here of 92,000. I'm just going to go 92,000 like so. So we can see that right here. And this is why we need some Ethereum in our account so that we can pay the gas fees for this. And hopefully it's not a super expensive busy day on Ethereum, because that chain can get expensive. Now this is saying network based, so it should be cheap, but we do have Ethereum there to cover those costs. So anyway, here's our relay address. It's coming into here. So we are now going to send these coins into our relay address. So I'm going to send those like so. We're going to have to copy and sign some stuff here. So yeah, 92,000 unknown, blah, blah, blah. We are going to confirm that like so. Transaction submitted. So we did confirm all that within our MetaMask wallet. And now it's going to send those funds into our relay account. So it should be fairly fast here. I'm just going to hit the refresh button here and let's see if it went through. So we only have 41 left, and now we can see 94,934 right here. So I got a few extra coins, 4,934. That's good in a nutshell. So now we're going to withdraw our coins here and convert that to where we actually need it. So now we're on the base network. We want to go to Crynux on base, and now we're going to enter, I think, yeah, we need 90,000 coins here, 90,000. There we go. So here's our receiving address. This is our address for our MetaMask and everything. So now we're going to fee is 100 fixed plus 90,000 here equals 109. So it looks like actual deduction will be 90,109. So is it going to take those fees? I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to be on the safe side here and add that extra 109 to this so that we end up with 90,000 over there. So, oh, now it's adding it up to there. So yeah, I think that's what's actually going on, is it's going to do that. So we're just going to send the 90,000 and you guys can see what actually shows up. So now we're going to submit this and it should take us to Crynux on base. So we're withdrawing it into here, submit it. We're going to confirm that in our MetaMask wallet as well. Withdrawal submitted. So now we're just going to wait a couple minutes here. It might already be there. So I'm going to click on Crynux on base and it should show up over here when everything is all said and done. So we're going to refresh this a couple times. And there we go. It's already done. 100,000 coins is now in here. So now our node address, it still says 10,000. So I'm going to close it down. And if you have not yet installed your node, be sure to do that now, because we have all the coins needed in our MetaMask wallet on the proper chain. We should now just have to run our node and sync it up. Now, if you don't yet have your node, obviously I will have that link down in the description, but here is your download link right here for the node. And then you come in and unzip it, place it wherever you want. Here I made a separate Crynux folder for it. And then you can see right here in Windows the Crynux node. So we're just going to simply double click on that. So it's going to open up our node here. It could take a couple minutes or a couple seconds, depending on your PC and everything you got going on here. Here's our little symbol coming up here. And now it's the first time running it. It's going to ask you to start a new wallet, create a new wallet, or import a private key. And your private key can be found in your MetaMask wallet here. I will show you how to find that, to download the blockchain, all that good stuff. So an Ethereum wallet with enough CNX tokens is required. Join the Crynux Discord to learn about acquiring CNX tokens. And here's a link to that. Private key store. You can create a new wallet here. So all sorts of different stuff. All right. So as we can see, it is asking us for a private key or create a new wallet. Now we did everything in MetaMask. So hopefully this works. I'm going to come in, going to click on account. We're going to hit the 3 dots here, and then we're going to go to account details. And here you can see private keys, and then enter your password right here, whatever yours may be, and then hit the confirm button. And then you should see all your private keys and stuff. I believe we're going to be utilizing base. Looks like all the private keys are probably the same within here. So now I'm going to bring up our node right here, and I'm going to paste this in, and hopefully it will work and enable this. So now we can see we have a submit button here. So I'm going to click that, and let's see if all our stuff does pop up. And there we go. It did a load, and we can see here is our CNX balance. So that is how we import our private keys from MetaMask and use it inside of our actual node. All right, so now we're going to run our Crynux node once you have it unzipped and everything. So we're simply going to double click on it here. Now, if you've double clicked and opened it a few times and then closed it, it's going to be hiding in your little taskbar down here. So you might have multiple nodes if you run into errors. But now you can see it isn't saying not enough staked wallet or anything in there so far. So it's slowly booting everything up. We should see our balance kick in. There it is, 100,000. So we have the coins necessarily. It is saying we don't have enough coins. So it looks like we need 0.1 coins. Wow. So we need to put in 100K 0.01. So I'm going to have to put in a little bit more coins. That's pretty crazy, actually. All right, so I purchased some more coins, got them all transferred over here, and now we're just preparing the node. So it's downloading models. It's going to go through a bunch of stuff here. And then once it's done downloading the blockchain, which is, setting up your node, running a node, typical downloading stuff. So once this does complete downloading the blockchain and everything, we'll run through a test, and then we should be able to start our node and have everything going. So it does say CNX staked here. So I don't have anything staked at the time yet. I do have a balance here. So if we click on this, I can just go like up one more, and then it'll save the amount. So I guess I will just click save there. And now it's going to say settings saved successfully. It may take a few moments for the changes to take effect. There we go. So I'm just going to click that and hit cancel. So it still says 0 here. So we'll just wait and see what happens. It probably needs everything to get in sync and everything first. So we're going to let this thing download and come back and see what it looks like. All right. And then when it's all said and done, we should have this operation right here. So our node status, we do have a green check marks. Currently, we don't have any tasks or anything done yet. They're currently idle. We got node scores happening. We do have a balanced stake now. It did that automatically based on what we chose right here. Remember, the default minimum is 100,000. It'll do that by default. GPU, VRAM used, VRAM total. Number of cores of our CPU is 24. We're using 15%. Here's our memory, and then our disk space and stuff of what's being utilized. So we are up and running. Now, I did run into a couple issues, and I had to use AI to kind of help me troubleshoot it because their own troubleshooting and frequently asked questions doesn't really have all the information. So I'm imagining some of you guys might run into the same issue I have. So I will have this link down in the description, and this will kind of go through the issues I had and what fixed it. So pretty much it was getting to 3 of the models, and then it was not doing anything anymore. I didn't notice file size going up anymore. So if we come in and look right here, you can see HF models, it was stuck at like 15 gigabytes, and I restarted, go to 16 and so on. And I kept going through the logs, punching that into AI, and it kept telling me, it kept freezing out and doing the same thing. So pretty much we went through here. Some of the issues that it says is make your file structure smaller. So we did that. We also, you can see open PowerShell as an administrator and run these programs here. So you can simply just come into here. Why I put this on my website is kind of explains what's going on. And then you can also right click, copy and paste it for yourself. Because in a YouTube description, a lot of this stuff might not show up or it'll be blanked out and things like that. So I did put this on my website so you can see it all here. Launch Crynux the right way. So here, use this command so that Crynux starts from the correct folder and can find its config properly. So obviously, depending where you put it, change this to wherever you named it and changed it, and then you can just simply copy and paste this and adjust this parameter line right here to where your file actually is. Step 4, you can watch the download logs, pretty much run through this thing, and it was the fix. So when it actually got up and running, I did get individual task failed. So here you can see the initial validation task failed, and this was due to some virtual memory. So the paging file was too small for this operation to complete. OS error, 1455, memory error, node manager init error, value error, so all this stuff. Anyway, the fix is to hit Windows R, go into this systemdm.cpl, go to your advanced performance settings, advanced virtual memory, and just change your virtual memory settings from initial size. Put in this for your maximum size. I am using 8 gigabyte 3060 Ti, remember, so it was not the issue. It was my virtual memory. And then once you save all that, apply it, reboot it, your Windows, and then restart your program, and it should work. That was my issue. but this is pretty much the commands to run you through that, because none of this stuff that I could find was in their documents. It might be there hidden, but I decided to, kind of put this together to help you guys out. All right, guys, so that pretty much is it in a nutshell. I'm going to let this run for a little while, and then we'll check out some earnings and stuff. So I'll probably do an updated video after, a couple weeks or something, because I do believe, every week is when rewards and stuff go out. But again, I got to do more research on that. But right now, this is how you get up and running in Windows for your Crynux Node. I would urge you guys to watch this once, even though I'm saying this at the end now. But, you should watch this video, then go back and actually set it up, because it probably, all said and done, the video turned out to be a lot longer than I thought it would be. But it is actually pretty simple once you get the steps actually down. It's pretty much all you need is the right amount of coins, and then you will send them to there. You got to convert them over to the proper network of coins, send them back into here from your relay address, and then pretty much run the software and you're good to go. It is pretty fast and easy, not very many steps, but in order to get here, it seems like it took quite some time, especially if it's your first try. That's why I say I urge you guys to watch the video once and then maybe set it up the second time through the video here. Anyway, if you guys got any questions or you want to know anything else, let me know down in the comment section. And everyone, give a big shout out to Allfather for sponsoring this video to show you guys how to actually set up this node. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.